So every so often I'll make a run to my local tap house or brewery and I'll get a whole bunch of growlers filled for family, friends, and us to be able to enjoy in the comfort of our own home. But I've never had growler carriers to do this, so it's a little awkward whenever you're trying to shuffle 4 to 8 growlers out from the brewery to your vehicle and from your vehicle into your house. And a lot of times it requires extra hands. So I've devised these 2 growler carriers in order to help me with that feat, and it secures both the large growlers as well as the mini growlers with ease. If this sounds like something you're interested in, you should stick around and see how I did it. Alright, so while I milled down a variety of different wood species using the miter saw, table saw, and planer, let me just say that I decided this project was going to be a scrap wood project, as in it was going to be made entirely using only scrap wood. So that said, there wasn't really a rhyme or reason for why I used what I used, but I did happen to make most of this out of poplar just because I had a lot of poplar on hand. But then for the end pieces, I used a mix of walnut, poplar, oak, tigerwood, and some other exotic thin strips that I had to make a nice, pretty looking, almost cutting board-like end piece. Alright, so now that all that's covered, let's make these suckers. So I started off by making the ends that would go on each growler carrier. I basically fiddled around with the arrangement of the different strips that I had cut for these pieces, and when I finally found a combination that I liked, I went ahead and glued them up as if I was making a long grain cutting board. Now, I'd be a liar if I didn't say I had some sort of a plan. I did kind of draw out the layouts of these and had ideas of the thicknesses of the boards, but I didn't really hold to them to a T. I just kind of did what I felt looked best after I got into it. Once these were glued up, I ran them all through the planer until they had a nice smooth side on both sides and had a even thickness of about 5/8 of an inch. And when I glued these up, I did make them slightly oversized, knowing that the clamps would leave indentations on the sides. So I took these over to the table saw to cut them to final width and not quite final length on the miter saw, but just get nice square bottom edge. And then on the top, we're going to do some triangulation in a minute. So while I didn't really have a plan for how I was going to glue up the end pieces, I had a definitive plan for how everything else was going to be made. So to make the triangle end pieces, I planned on the bends on the sides to start at roughly 7 inches from the bottom, and these would go to about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch offset from the center line at the top. So I went ahead and marked my 7 inches on the sides, marked my spots at the top where these side angles would meet, and went ahead and traced those lines. Alright, so to find what the angle of this line is, since I kind of just arbitrarily drew it, I'm just going to take my square, put my right angle right where that line starts on the side, make it nice and tight to that side, and where this line intersects the angle, which is right about 37 degrees, that's the angle that I need to set my miter to. I'm planning on cutting these on the bandsaw because I can't get my miter saw at the right angle to be able to do this because this side's not flat, and so I'd have to put it like that up against my fence, and that's way too far out. So I'm just going to go set my bandsaw to 37 degrees and kind of cut a little off these lines, and we'll sand them flush. Maths, it works. Alright, so I've run into a little bit of a problem trying to do this with all scrap wood. The universe is trying to tell me go buy more wood, but damn it, this is a scrap wood project and I'm going to do it with scrap wood. So here's the problem. This is how wide the ends are going to be, and the way this is going to be laid out is I'm going to have these rails that are going to run along the sides, and they're going to be nested inside the envelope of what the sides are of these end pieces. Then I was going to take this scrap plywood and make a groove in the 4 sides and run this in, and then cap that last end piece on. However, the problem is this piece is clearly too thin. It doesn't actually fit in those grooves, or it won't. So what I've decided I'm going to do is take these 2 pieces of scrap 1/2-inch plywood, and I'm going to join them, edge join them just like that, and then I can get a piece that will slide into this big growler carrier, and then a smaller piece that I can cut out that'll slide into this small growler carrier. This is more work than necessary. I should probably just go buy another piece of plywood, but like I said, damn it, it's a scrap wood project, and we're gonna do it with scrap wood. Alright, so let me walk you through my process for fitting these rails. This is probably the most critical and tedious part of this whole project, just because you're taking a router and a chisel to make the perfect fit for these rails and these end pieces that you just spent all this time making beautiful. One screw up and it might be kind of hard to recover. So to start with, I use the rails themselves to mark the exact size of the space that would need to be cut out in order to seat the rail. Then, while holding the router bit right on the lines I just traced, I clamped down some guides to ensure that the router bit wouldn't get caught and pull away into an area that I didn't want routed out. Now that the guides were set, it was time to route out most of this material that would need to be removed. Now I set my router to a depth of just a hair shy of what the thickness of these rails would be. That way whenever I install the rails, they would be slightly proud of the end pieces, and then I could just use sanding to make them flush. So as you can see, I didn't quite route all the way to the line. That way I could come in with a chisel and do the fine fitting to make sure that the rails were nice and tight and fit exactly like I wanted. So I started off by routing the spots for the bottom 2 rails first, and this was because those spots had 2 open sides and 2 boxed in sides, which made the chances of messing up a little less likely, versus the top spots would have 3 boxed in sides. So I was able to kind of perfect my technique and all that stuff on the bottom 2, where it was a little less consequential or a little less likely that I would mess up, and then I could focus on the top 2. So if you remember, I'll be cutting a groove in the bottom to insert the bottom piece, and so right here I'm just compensating for that distance from the bottom of the end pieces that groove would be, in order to determine where the top spots for the rails need to be. Alright, so to cut the grooves to insert the bottom piece into these growler carriers, I've inserted a dado stack into my table saw to just make easier work of this. You can cut those grooves with just a single saw blade if that's what you have. It's just going to take a little bit longer. I went up using a single blade to cut the dado slots in the bottom piece for the dividers, and I just slowly snuck up on this fit, adjusting my width in order to get a nice tight fit for those dividers. I then partially mocked this up so I could slide the middle divider in and mark where I needed to make notches for the rails. I cut these notches out on the bandsaw and once again kept my blade just outside of the lines that I had marked so that I could sneak up on a tight fit with a chisel. For the larger growler carrier, the dividers would make a cross in the middle of the growler carrier, and so for the one piece that would actually span the entire width of the growler carrier, I went ahead and cut a couple dados in it in order to slide the other dividers inside. For the smaller growler carrier, I don't have to do this because it only needs a single divider, it doesn't need a cross. So before I could really start looking at assembling the large growler carrier, I had to cut a channel or groove to recess the divider that would go in the middle. Now this is probably a little overkill, and you could probably just do a butt joint where the divider would bump right up to the end piece and just put some glue in between them and clamp them really good. But I've already recessed and made dados for everything else for this growler carrier, so I figured I've come this far, I might as well finish it off right and make everything have its own channel and recessed groove to put everything together. The process for this was really similar to what I did for the spots for the rails. I just used the router to route out the channel, and then I came back with a chisel to square it all up and make it nice and clean for a tight fit. The last thing I did with the end pieces was put a 1-inch hole toward the top, and this was going to be for the rope handle later. I was originally going to make the handles using dowel rods, but I decided against it and went with a rope handle, and I really like how they turned out, so no regrets with the rope. Since a rope would be going through these holes, I decided to go ahead and use a 1/8 inch roundover bit on them to kind of knock off the edges and prevent the sharp edges of this hole from making the rope fray over time. So what I wanted to do with these growler carriers was have them hold large growlers as well as mini growlers very securely. So what I decided to do was make a, let's call it an adapter, to be able to slide down into the spots where you would put a growler that would actually kind of shrink the size of the opening to hold these mini growlers a little more securely. Because I didn't have a good size hole saw to cut the holes for these, I wound up using this old circle cutter that I actually got from Lauren's grandfather, and it worked pretty good since I was just cutting these out of poplar. But the way I set them up is I basically traced the growler on a piece of paper, and then I drew some lines and saw where they all intersected to get the center point. And then I went ahead and just adjusted the size of the circle cutter on that circle, then was able to put it in my drill press and be able to cut these circles out. I used a thin piece of scrap poplar to cut a bunch of mini right angles that I would use as ears to hold in the adapters that I made for the mini growlers. After a really light sanding with 220 grit sandpaper just to get rid of all the pencil marks, it was finally time to get these things assembled. Now there is a specific order all these pieces have to go together, especially with the large growler carrier with the dividers, so I would definitely recommend mocking this up and running through it first before you actually start putting glue on anything. After taking these out of the clamps, I did a little cleanup work with a chisel and some sandpaper to make sure all the mating surfaces were nice and flush. And then it was time to start installing the ears that were going to hold the adapters in place. Since these weren't going to be receiving a lot of stress, I didn't feel like it needed wood glue and it was going to be difficult to find a way to hold these or clamp them, so I just used cyanoacrylate glue, or CA glue for short, same thing as super glue, and it just takes a little bit. I just put a small dab on each mating surface, held them in place for about 10 to 20 seconds, and they were good to go. I use Danish oil for the wood finish, and if you've watched some of my other videos, you've probably picked up on the fact that I'm a pretty big fan of Danish oil. I just love the way it makes the wood grains pop, and it's also a protectorant, not just a wood finish. I applied 3 coats of Danish oil in total. The first 2 I was just rubbing in with a cloth and then buffing them out, and then the last coat I actually applied using 320 grit sandpaper to give it a nice smooth finish. I gave the last coat of Danish oil about 24 hours to dry thoroughly, and then I gave everything 1 coat of finishing wax to give it a little extra protection. The last thing to do to finish these babies off was to tie the handles. I made the handles using 1-inch cotton rope, and then I tapped into a little bit of my Eagle Scout knowledge and used a seizing knot to tie them off. If you're interested in learning how to tie a seizing knot, I actually made a YouTube short video that I'll link in the top right corner, or you can go check them out on my YouTube channel. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like or subscribing to the channel, and until next time, take a chance and make something.